Over the last few years, traffic congestion has become a serious concern for many people living in the Southwest Mission area of Kelowna. So, City Council asked staff to look into traffic flows along Lakeshore Road and Gordon Drive. A study was set up to measure travel times along the two main routes through the Mission. City staff drove the routes, set up video cameras, and obtained travel time data from Google. It turns out that with no congestion, it takes about 5 minutes to drive along Lakeshore between Southcrest Drive and Kensington Drive. That's the same amount of time it takes to drive along Gordon between Steele Road and Old Meadows Road. And no congestion is what we see on a typical early morning weekday at 7:30 a.m. As you can see, at that time, traffic moves freely at both Lakeshore and Colette and Gordon and McClure. A half hour later, however, things are still moving smoothly on both routes, though there is now a small delay on Lakeshore that has turned a 5-minute drive into an 8-minute one. At 8:15, we're into the morning peak, and traffic volumes on both routes have picked up. The delay on Lakeshore has now increased to 8 minutes, while there is also a 2-minute delay on Gordon. The delays, however, do not last very long. By 8:45, the traffic tide has turned, and the delay on Lakeshore is down to 2 minutes. On Gordon, meanwhile, traffic volumes are still heavy, but there is no longer a delay. It turns out the delays are concentrated in the morning. At 1 p.m., we have no traffic delays on either Lakeshore or Gordon. And it's the same story during the afternoon peak. At 3:20 p.m., there are no delays on either route. But what about for longer trips, like those between the Mission and downtown Kelowna? Right now, the average travel time between the Mission and downtown Kelowna is about 15 minutes, though with absolutely no traffic, it can be as quick as about 13 minutes. On Gordon, delays cause the travel time to peak at about 17 minutes, but as this graph demonstrates, there is a window of about half an hour during the morning when average travel times on Lakeshore are up to between 18 and 21 minutes. The delays are mostly because of the sheer volume of vehicles traveling at this time, but an analysis of the data suggests that the delays on Lakeshore are longer because of what's happening at schools in the lower Mission. Traffic is being held up as parents turn into the schools to drop off their children and crossing guards let kids cross the street. And while delays of 8 to 10 minutes were observed on Lakeshore and delays of 2 to 3 minutes were observed on Gordon, it turns out both routes have free-flowing traffic for more than 23 hours a day. To try and improve the flow of traffic during the busiest times, the city is working to optimize the timing of traffic signals along both routes. A malfunction discovered on a traffic signal on El Dorado Road was recently fixed, and at schools, crossing guards are being taught to space out their interruptions of the traffic flow. There are also plans to build new roads in the city's current capital plan. As these roads come online, they may provide some relief to commuters during peak times, especially the Gordon Drive, South Perimeter Road, and Stewart Road sections scheduled for 2019. But unfortunately, as much as we might like to believe otherwise, traffic congestion cannot be solved by building more roads. It has been shown time and time again that new roads quickly fill up. One study found that half of added road capacity fills within 5 years of it being constructed. Build it, and traffic will quickly become congested again. And in any case, the city has limited resources, and it may not be practical to build our roads to ensure free-flowing traffic during peak times, especially on roads that already have free-flowing traffic 23 hours a day. Unfortunately, some traffic congestion, especially during peak times, is unavoidable. That's why the city encourages people to carpool, avoid peak travel times if they can, and cycle or take transit whenever possible. If everyone who can use one of these other options did so, it would free up road space for those who have no choice but to drive at peak times.